Beautiful people, episode 158 of the Ignite Your Purpose podcast show.
Mind your
John,
backs.
bloody
Mind
hell,
your backs.
We start at 4, man. We go live at 4. You're late.
Okay.
Anyway, beautiful people, today we are going to simply talk about International Mental Health, Mental Awareness Day. John, tell the beautiful people who the hell we are and what we do.
We are Ignite Your Purpose. And as always, we talk longevity through the healthy lifestyle, a mix of mental, physical, and some spiritual knowledge. The mind, body, soul,
Trifecta.
negative,
2.
positive.
Every day, all day, baby. So in the news, as trending, it's something that's big time in our society right now. You have PTSD, you have the vets, you have the people coming home with all these mental issues. Cannabis is in the news with new treatments for it. We got people talking ketogenic diet for this mental awareness, mental health thing. John, give us your take.
Well, as I picked the subject today, well, in reality, Twitter picked it, but I saw that mental health was trending, and a few of my friends have been raising money for charity for ex-servicemen in the UK. I know Max is aware of many people in this part of the world working on take care of the vets.
Yes.
In fact, you even put a line in one of your songs recently.
Very true. We
Vets
got vets coming home.
Who can't make it on their own.
Who can't make it on their own, baby.
So I thought I'd bring it up because my honest, and I'm an ex-serviceman as well, my perception of PTSD, that it was solely connected to wartime traumas, that fight or flight, those traumatic experiences where those things just pop inside us, we don't know that they're there, and then they just keep tripping away over and over and over for years and years, affecting each and every sort of aspect of our lives. And that's where I thought it came from. And I know certainly the US Army, if they've had guys or girls in combat and they've had contact, when they get them back to base, they're playing the old game Tetris, because it just gets their minds focusing on that one simple task of fitting those blocks in, rather than sitting at home or sitting in the barracks or sitting in the tent or the chow hall, processing that last little sort of incident or episode that they've had, talking it through with their buddies, just reprogramming it. You know, they're talking about it with as much depth and detail and colour and sound as possible, so that's where it goes in. But I digress, because PTSD is not just about the military. It's
bombs going off, it's death.
It's not that. It's getting caught under the car. It's at a young age being dumped by a boyfriend or a girlfriend. It's rape. It's your family separating, and it's after a traumatic experience. So I thought we'd kind of bounce this subject around, come up with some ideas of things that it may have affected us in our past lives, or just simply we're raising the awareness that it's not just soldiers and servicemen and airmen and those guys in the Navy, sorry fellas, that suffer. I don't mean that. So Max?
So we've had a monk talk to us from East Asia. Now they view things a little differently. So I agree 100% with what John just said. I do, however, think there needs to be a small line drawn in the sand.
Yeah.
When you say getting dumped by a girl, and I'm not saying that this is what John's claiming, but you know, I got dumped by a girl, I have PTSD, I need drugs. I don't know if that personally I would consider. Now there's probably issues there,
yeah.
I get it, but PTSD I do. I would say there are traumatic things in our heads that have happened. Boom, a bomb going off, you get blown 20 feet. That hasn't happened to me personally.
I completely agree with that, but it's all about perspective, isn't it? When
it's
you're
very true.
10 or 12 or 14 or 16 and you've had this perfect life, and that is possibly the first traumatic experience that you've experienced.
Very true.
And we don't know how to deal with this. We're not taught about emotions and interactions and empathy and patience and understanding. So, and I'm not saying it's the same thing as being blown or having the lead rounds firing past your head. I'm not saying that at all.
No, I agree.
But yeah, sorry, I chipped in.
No, it's perfect. It's better when we're live together. Yeah. But the monk that spoke to us talked to us about a an event that happened, and there was a lady in the village who claimed she had mental demons. She had all these mental issues, and she came to the monks there, the Buddhist monks, to get some form of help. And she was screaming and ranting and raving and said she needed help and take the kids and all this type of stuff, right? I think she was in her early 20s, maybe mid to late 20s, we'll say. And the way the monks solved this, which is interesting, right? I'm just giving you a story that was told to me that sheds some perspective on the line in the sand, all right? And the monks said to the junior monks, okay, I want you guys to go start boiling water.
Is that the technical term, junior monks?
There is a better term.
Trainee, apprentice?
Well, they're monks, but they're just not the headmaster.
And I'm not joking.
Yeah, there is a term, but they're not the headmaster. So the other ones that are, you know, on their sabbaticals and training and, you know, 15 years deep, whatever. Now they tell them to go start boiling water, right? They also bring in a tub, all right?
Yeah.
A bathtub. You know, this is a bit of a process, but the water starts getting boiled. They start pouring the water into the tub.
Okay.
All right. The lady finally asked, well, what are you doing? And she said, in our beliefs, in our belief system, and I could be chopping the story up a little bit, but this is how I remember it, is we will burn the demons out of your mind.
Okay.
We will boil them out of you.
Yeah.
Basically telling her that they're going to put her into boiling water. Mm-hmm. And how quickly her tune changed. Because some of the things just are in the mind.
Yep.
Right. Now, having said that, boom, there is some type of receptacle that if you were raped, if you've had an arm blown off, there are some major things there, right?
Don't understand.
Yeah, like that, there will be some major help needed. Now, whether it's pharmaceutical, meditation, a ketogenic diet, herbs, miracle cannabis, many options. I'm not schooled enough in that area, but a lot of it goes back to self-awareness, training your brain,
perspective,
understanding your brain, understanding how your mind thinks, understanding your own thoughts, understanding how those thoughts are connected to a past, connected to a behavior, connected to an emotion.
You have a thought, you say it, when you think something, you think it. When you say it, you give it energy. When you give it energy, it becomes something.
Reality, and that's now your reality, right? And, you know, again, I just think there's a line in the sand there.
Yeah, it's not the same thing, but
I think
more and more in this day and age, we're looking at all these the traumas, the children self-harming, and you know, maybe part of it's the internet and scaring the internet for these people to kind of lead them down the wrong path.
fear-based society we are in.
But there is still sort of trauma going on at all sort of scales.
Oh man, and there's traumas we do not know about. We don't live in some of these third world countries where we're not even reported on what's going on. That stuff, and those guys don't get to go, hey, I need a pill from a psychiatrist. They have to deal with it their way. And I would say, from my humble opinion, the ketogenic diet, if there's some research being done on that, we saw some data that there is, medical marijuanas, meditations.
We know meditation helps.
We know, so I definitely implore the people that are studying that to help those people. That would be my first.
And I think for all of us, it's just to gain the perspective that when these stories come up with people and we're shared of these experiences, giving people your time,
compassion,
and not necessarily talking, but allowing them to express and to share the experiences for which they've had, and then maybe if you feel it's appropriate, just put a slightly different perspective on. It might be where somebody was and they are now. It might be the people that they were surrounded by and they're actually surrounded by loving people now who want to help. Just be there for people, and when you look at a soldier or an ex-serviceman of any arm, just thank them for the time, because we do. In the military side of things, we do need to, and the policemen and the fire service and and the ambulance and the Coast Guard. Thank all of these people for their service and give them time.
Sometimes the best healing is just to listen.
Yeah.
It's their lesson. It's maybe not our lesson to interject and try to teach them something that we think we do or don't know.
Yep.
On that note, beautiful people, that's all I have to say. Please like, please subscribe, please give us high fives, please, please do a dirty dance, please shuffle a little. We just love you, we appreciate you. Thank you to all the online listeners, thank you to the Podbean, the Anchor listeners. We just appreciate the love, and we'll be back tomorrow. So that's
okay.
it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Whoa.